A duck was waiting on her nest for her eggs to hatch. One by one the eggs cracked, and the ducklings began to peep.
Quack, quack, look away and you can see the world. How big the world is! This is just a piece of the world. It's much bigger piece than an egg. But wait, the biggest egg has not hatched yet. I wonder how long it will take.
An old duck had arrived to see the new brood.
Let me see that egg that hasn't hatched. No wonder. It is a turkey egg. I had one of those once. Those turkeys are impossible. They won't go near the water. You may as well forget it and just teach your little ones to swim.
I have waited this long. I suppose I can wait a bit longer.
She sat on the egg again, and by it began to crack. The mother duck looked hard at him.
He's very big and doesn't look like it was. I wonder if he could be a turkey after all. Well, I don't know if he won't go into the water.
The next day the mother duck took her brood to the pond. One by one they disappeared into the water, with their heads bobbing up like little corks. Even the big ugly ones swam around the pond.
This is no talking. It swims too well. Listen, children, follow me. We are going to the hen so you can meet everyone. When we get there, be sure to like good things.
When they got to the hen yard, the other animals gathered around to see the new family. One duck took an immediate dislike to the big duckling.
Look at that big ugly duckling. We don't need him here.
The other duck bit the ugly duckling. The mother got very angry.
Leave him alone. He hasn't hurt you.
He is ugly and not one of us. That is reason enough to bite him. Leave the poor thing alone. He may be ugly, but the other ducklings are lovely.
There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him except for being the egg in bit too long. He swims quite well. We will be fine once the others have grown as large as he is.
Perhaps he will look better. Meanwhile, make yourselves at home here in the hen yard.
The mother duck and her ducklings settled in, but the ugly duckling was not happy there. The others chased and tormented him. Even his mother wished he would go away so he wouldn't be teased so much. Finally, the ugly duckling ran away. He flew over the bushes and walked a long way. Finally, he came to a big swamp where some wild ducks lived. One spoke to him.
What kind of bird are you?
I am afraid I really don't know.
You are ugly, but that doesn't matter to us.
The ugly duckling only wanted to swim, eat, and drink in peace, but he wasn't that lucky. Suddenly, hunters began shooting at the wild ducks. The ugly duckling lay quiet until the shooting stopped. He then dashed out of the swamp as quickly as he could. Soon he came to a hut. An old woman saw him.
What luck! Now we'll have duck eggs, unless you're drink. You can stay for a few weeks. If you don't lay eggs by then, you'll have to leave.
The new yard was fine, but the duckling soon realized he missed the water.
I think I'll try to find a lake.
The duckling found a lake, but the other ducks ignored him because he was so ugly. One evening, a flock of beautiful birds arrived at the lake. They had white feathers and long, graceful necks. Fall had arrived, and these swans were on their way to a warmer climate.
Oh, look at those beautiful birds. How I wish I could be like them.
But the ducklings stayed at the pond. Soon it became so cold that the lake froze around him. A farmer found him, cut him free, and took him home.
Look what I have brought home, wife.
But the duckling, the wife and the children made such a fuss over the duckling that it ran out of the door. Somehow it made the best of things and survived the winter. The next spring, it felt strength from the warm earth and sun. It spread its wings and flew until it saw some swans in a lake.
I shall fly over to those lovely birds. I know I am ugly, but even if they kill me, it will make no difference.
He landed on the water and sat quietly. The swans began to swim to meet him. The ugly duckling felt so ashamed in their presence that he ducked his head. But when he did, he saw his reflection. He was amazed.
Why, I am not an ugly duckling. I'm a swan. It doesn't matter where I was born or who my mother was. I am truly a swan.
The beautiful swan ruffled his feathers and swam to meet the other swans. From that day on, he lived proudly and happily with his new friends.
The